Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a word that, let's be honest, makes most of us pretty nervous: debt. But what if I told you that everything we've been taught to fear about it is, well, maybe just plain wrong? We're going to dive into how debt, when it's used the right way, can actually be one of the most powerful tools for building wealth.
I mean, we hear stuff like this all the time, right? The common wisdom is that debt is a trap, it's a burden, it's something you have to avoid at all costs. And for a lot of people, that's exactly what it feels like, a heavy weight that's just holding them back.
What if there's this whole other side to debt? A side that the wealthy have understood and, frankly, used for generations to multiply their wealth, not get rid of it. Let's break down exactly how they do that.
So, what's the big secret? Well, it all boils down to a fundamental shift in your mindset. It's not about whether debt is good or bad, it's about what you're using it for. Think of debt like a hammer. You can use a hammer to build an incredible house, right? Or you could use it to smash your thumb. The hammer itself isn't good or bad. The outcome depends entirely on the person swinging it and the plan they have for it.
Okay, so how do we learn to use this tool the right way? It all starts with learning to spot the difference between two very, very different types of debt. And trust me, this one distinction changes the entire game. And honestly, the distinction is pretty simple. Bad debt is when you borrow for things that lose value and just cost you money. You know, putting a lavish vacation on a credit card. Good debt, on the other hand, is when you use it to buy assets that either go up in value or actually generate income. Put it this way, bad debt takes money out of your pocket, while good debt puts money in it. Now, this whole strategy has a name. It's called leverage. It's basically the art of using other people's money to increase your own potential return. You're intentionally borrowing capital because you have a plan to make that money work harder for you than what it's costing you to borrow. All right, so let's get practical and look at three foundational strategies that really put this theory into practice, starting with the most classic example of good debt there is. This one is the most straightforward and honestly one of the most powerful ways to use debt. The goal is dead simple. You borrow money to buy an asset that generates more in monthly income than the loan costs you each month. And you guessed it, real estate is the perfect example. Let's just break down the numbers here so you can see exactly how your debt can actually start paying you.
So imagine the property you bought brings in $2,000 a month in rent from your tenant. That's your income.
Now, from that, you subtract your monthly mortgage payment. Let's say that's $1,600.
And what does that leave you with? $400 in positive cash flow. Think about that for a second. The debt isn't just paying for itself, it's literally putting money into your wallet every single month. And that's all while you're building equity and the property itself is likely going up in value. That is a huge win. And this exact same principle works for entrepreneurship. A smart business loan isn't for covering payroll when things get tight. It's for investing in things that will directly generate more revenue and help you grow fast. The logic is super straightforward. You borrow money to buy a new machine that lets you double your production, or maybe you launch a marketing campaign that brings in tons of new customers. As long as the return on that investment is significantly higher than the interest on the loan, you are actively using debt to create wealth. Okay, now for a slightly more advanced strategy, often called arbitrage. This is all about borrowing money at a low interest rate and investing it into something that you confidently expect will generate a higher rate of return. Here's how it works. Imagine you get a loan with a 4% interest rate. You then invest that capital into a diversified portfolio that you project will return, say, 8%. That 4% difference, the spread, is your profit. Now, of course, this carries more risk, right? The investment might not perform as expected, but with a disciplined plan, it's a powerful way to make borrowed money work for you. So, these strategies are powerful, but they all depend on one critical element that separates success from, well, disaster. You have to remember, using debt to build wealth is an active strategy, not a passive hope. It means you have to run the numbers, understand the risks, and have a clear plan. The purpose of the debt is absolutely everything. Is it buying a liability or an income-producing asset? That one question makes all the difference in the world. So, at the end of the day, everyone has access to this tool. The question is, how do you choose to use it? Are you using it to acquire things that just drain your finances, digging a deeper hole for yourself? Or are you using it strategically to acquire assets that build your wealth, constructing a stronger financial future? The choice is yours.